Hi there, my name is Pascal and today I want to walk you through how I edited one of my most favorite macro pictures from last year. So let's hop into Lightroom. So here we are in Lightroom and this is the picture that we're talking about. So this is actually the raw image. This one here is the final result. I want to walk you through how I got from this to this basically. So first things first, this edit is a harsh edit, don't get me wrong. There is a whole lot of things done to this picture to actually get it to this point. However, I'm a firm believer as long as you tell the people, listen, this is an artistic expression, this is not reality. Then it's absolutely fine, go as far as you want with your edit and just enjoy it. And this is basically what I'm doing. First things first, what we need to do is fix the exposure since it's just a touch too dark to really edit properly. So we just lighten it up a bit. And the first edit that I did for this picture was basically just hitting auto and dialing the exposure a little bit back. So that was basically what the first edit was. I just didn't like it. So we can undo that real quick. So we need to dial up the exposure just a touch to see what we're actually working with. All right. So now I do like high contrast pictures. That's just what I enjoy. So we add a whole bunch of contrast here. So as you can see, since the picture itself is pretty dark and the tones, except from the highlight spots here, are pretty dark, if I now increase the contrast, the picture will get darker therefore. So we can compensate that if we just add a little bit more exposure like so. Now the highlights are mainly here on the outer rim of the insect, the legs and the head obviously. I just want to punch them just a touch. And the shadows, now shadows is, especially for this picture, a little bit irritating. Shadows are obviously right here up in the corner, the dark areas. But these are also the dark spots on this little beetle here. So what I want to emphasize is the texture on the body. And I can do that when I'm dialing down the shadows. So I'm going, let's see, yeah, we can actually go like around -32 right here. That looks quite good. Now whites, I can actually boost the whites actually pretty far as I see, but I don't want to go that far. I want to keep it a little bit more muted like so. And also enhance the blacks to really keep this strong contrasty picture here. Okay, texture wise, I don't want to touch texture slider here. I want to focus more on the clarity, like that would be too much for my taste. Roughly around like so. Now dehazing doesn't work for this picture too much. However, so dehazing is basically that you can remove a little bit of fogginess from your picture or just add a bit, because it's like with all sliders, if you go too far, the picture is just crap. But what I can do here is I can put a little bit emphasis on the insect when I introduce a little bit of dehazing. So dehazing is basically affecting the entire picture, also darkening this part here. However, this part we can take care of with vignetting down the road. So we don't need to take care of that right now. Okay, so that this is done, we can actually take care of vibrance and saturation. Before I was experimenting with my styles, I was pretty focused on getting super saturated pictures because they were so poppy, right? So most things that you see on Instagram is such a saturated thing if you're not in this artsy stuff, but that's just not my style, so we're dialing that back. Now what I want to do is, since the eyes are red and the greens are a little bit more popping, I want the eyes to lift at least to the same level as the greens, so we use the vibrance slider for that. And now I think it's too greenish to my taste, so we can dial the saturation a touch back, not too much, just a touch, like so. Okay, that looks actually quite good to me. Now the next thing would be, if we check what I already did. Now in this picture I have given it a very cool tone. So now I'm going to change the white balance for this picture. So we're currently at around 4650 Kelvin. That's already pretty cold, but to get it a little bit colder, we can go even smaller around here. That looks good to me. Tint wise, we can increase a little bit onto the purple, like so. That's actually looking quite good to me. Now my next step would be, because I really want to get rid of the outer part of this picture and focus in on the insect. Now we can go under effects, and here we have post-crop vignetting. Now we can, so moving the slider to the right is adding actually a white vignette, but I do enjoy the black vignetting, which is if you move your slider to the left. We can actually go, and that would save us one step. If I'm not adding any vignette, you see down here in the bottom there's something, I don't know what it is, it's kind of distracting. So we can actually go in, and we need to take care of this little part up here that's of his antennas, so that we don't go too harsh on it. That's actually looking pretty good. Okay, so now that vignetting is done, we can go ahead and go into color, HSL color. Now here we can actually go ahead and boost the saturation and luminance of reddish colors. Now if you take a look on the eyes, now this is 0, right? If I move it, if I move the saturation slider down, you see that the antennas are losing color and the eye is losing color. Now I want to boost the reddish color of the eye. Also, just give it a little bit more luminance. And actually I can go full on the 100% modification here, since the beetle itself is entirely green and it does not affect the green parts of it. So yeah, just roll with it. All right, what we can do next is we can go into HSL, and we can actually sample color from the eye here, and we can increase a little bit the color. Now hue wise, we can actually modify that to be darker or more into the reddish direction, which is also what I want to go to. Okay, so saturation wise, I really want to change the saturation here. So we can boost the orange, as you can see, just a touch. But with orange we have to be careful, because right here along the outer rim there is a yellowish part. So there could be some effect there that we don't want. Okay, perfect. Luminance wise, same procedure, just hit it with some luminance here that is... This is looking actually pretty nice, I think. Perfect. So color is done. What we can do now is we have a quick look into the color curve, into the tone curve, and we can do the classic S curve here, with just a touch up in the midtones and a little bit more in the highlights, like so. And to counteract now these really bright parts here, we can go into basic and dial the exposure just a touch back, like so. This is actually looking already pretty good to me. So one thing that I really want to check now is the cropping overlay. So we can choose the crop and see if it fits what we want. So currently it's a little bit shifted to the left, which is not necessarily bad, but I much rather like to keep it a little bit more focused onto the center, like so. That is a little bit more what I enjoy. Okay. So we can check the other tabs if we don't want to sharpen anything. Colors are perfect. We don't have anything for lens correction. We transformed already, and calibration wise, it should be fine. So this is actually done, and this is the final result. So let's check the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. So I think we really did a good job there. And as I said in the beginning, it obviously is nowhere near close from reality perspective. Like you wouldn't find a picture which is color graded or worked like this in your typical school book. But that wasn't what I was going for anyways. And actually, I showed that picture to really a whole bunch of people, not only my family, and they were actually really positive about not what I captured, but also how the post-processing worked out. So this is really something that I really enjoy. So this was basically my workflow. I was rushing a little bit over the several sliders here. I will do in the future a video where I will explain how these sliders work in particular. Also go a little bit into more detail what is actually a histogram. But up until now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions in regards to my post-processing or anything like that, please leave it down in the comments below. One question here again, since I'm pretty new to this kind of video making, I'm still experimenting with how I should film the videos and so on and so forth. So if you do like something, please let me know. And if you have any constructive criticism, please let me know. I really want to learn and want to improve and provide you content that you can enjoy. So that's basically all from my side. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please leave me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video next week. And until then, happy shooting!